नाज़रीन, आप देख रहे हैं मास्टर टीवी प्रोग्राम बातों बातों में आपको खुश आमदीद कहते हैं। मैं हूं आपका मेज़बान अयाज मोरस और इस प्रोग्राम में हम आपको ऐसे लोगों से मिलवाते हैं जो बिल्कुल ग्रास रूट लेवल से आते हैं, तालीम हासिल करते हैं, मेहनत करते हैं और अपने शोबे में अपना नाम बनाते हैं और उनकी ज़िंदगी बहुत सारे लोगों को इंस्पिरेशन और मोटिवेशन देती है। आज जो मेरे साथ गेस्ट है एक ऐसी ही शख्सियत है जिनकी लाइफ और जिनकी सर्विसेज ने बहुत सारे लोगों की लाइफ को इम्पैक्ट किया है। आज हम उनकी ज़िंदगी की वो बातें जिन्होंने उनकी ज़िंदगी को मुतासर किया है, आज हम उनसे पूछेंगे प्रोग्राम बातों बातों में। आज हमारे साथ लियोन मेनेजेस मौजूद हैं। थैंक यू सो मच एंड वेलकम टू माय शो।
Thank you very much. I've learned to do this on Zoom now, to wave to people.
थैंक यू थैंक यू सो मच सर। आई वुड लाइक टू नो अबाउट योर एजुकेशनल जर्नी। ये कहानी आपकी कैसे शुरू हुई?
यार मैं क्या बताऊं, you'll be shocked, you'll be surprised. Today I'm a professor.
Yes.
ठीक है. I did matric auto mechanics 3rd division.
Wow.
St. Patrick's High School. I wanted to be an automobile engineer. I did very well in school, लेकिन board exams में आपको मालूम क्या हुआ है. तो I then started to look for jobs as a mechanic,
Right.
from garage to garage. उससे कुछ नहीं बना, लेकिन I was a very good guitar player. So I joined a very very big band. I played there for 3.5 years as a professional. उसको छोड़ा to try and get a regular job 9 to 5. लेकिन क्योंकि वो क्वालिफिकेशंस नहीं थी ना, बीकॉम शीकॉम कुछ नहीं था, तो आई कुडंट गेट अ जॉब. तो मैंने टेलरिंग सीखा. आई कैन मेक शर्ट्स, आई कैन मेक ट्राउजर्स, आई कैन मेक जैकेट्स. वेल नॉट जैकेट्स बट आई कैन डू ऑल दैट, शलवार कमीज एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. लेकिन देन अगेन देखो, लक एंड सर्कमस्टांस, आई गॉट अ जॉब एट पैन अमेरिकन एयरवेज and I worked there for 17 years, and I said to myself, I have to improve myself. So I read a lot. I had a very nice senior colleague who used to like to read, and he shared a lot of books with me, and one of the big ones that helped me was How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, great.
Which I read at least 4 times, and I still use the principles from that. I was lucky in Pan Am, बहुत सारे trainings वगैरह किए. Went to London, went to New York, went to Honolulu, went to India, went to Paris, all sorts of places. Different trainings, very different trainings. लेकिन मुझे ये क्या कहते हैं, ये feeling था कि there's a big gap in education. फिर मैंने IBA join किया था, evening program, कोई certificate के लिए, advertising, marketing, पता नहीं क्या क्या. लेकिन without a bachelor's, you can't do. Without high school, you can't do bachelor's. And I couldn't do high school unless I did matric all over again. इतना लंबा कौन करेगा? But I was very lucky. Then later on, my job in Pan Am dissolved. I was declared redundant. The airline also went bankrupt. I joined American Express. American Express, what a wonderful experience. But all the senior people in American Express were all MBAs. यहाँ से वहाँ से वहाँ से. So I realized I need to do something to get some proper qualification. So I was very lucky. My uncle used to read The Economist, and I know that at the back of The Economist they used to have all these ads for different educational programs. So there was this ad for University of Hull, because they used to have a distance teaching, not correspondence, distance teaching program in Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore. So I wrote to them. They said, "Dekho, we don't have a program in Pakistan, because this was actually taught to you in the face to face. If we do something in Pakistan, we will let you know." 3 months later, they started a program in Pakistan. I went and spoke to them. Now the UK does not require a first degree to do a second degree. So 2 years, it was very tough, but very, very good experience. So I went from being a matriculate to a master's.
Wow, what an inspirational journey.
So no, the thing is now people want to say, so why do I need to do BBA? Why do I need to do this? Why do I need that? I said, Dekho, your experience and my experience is different.
It's different.
The difference, real difference has been, and that has helped me a lot, is reading.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. In addition to reading, you need to be enterprising. So I was in Pan Am for 17 years. You can die in 17 years. Okay? But I went from being in reservations and ticketing city office. I worked in passenger services at the airport. I went into marketing and sales. In marketing and sales, I reinvented myself. I started trainings for the travel agency community.
Right.
I used to publish newsletters, do all sorts of creative things, work very closely with advertising agencies. So exposure kuch zyada
मिला,
badha.
सही.
So then when Pan Am closed down, I was ready to actually go and do other things.
Same.
The American Express experience was also very good. I was in travel. After I got my MBA, they said, okay, fine. They gave me quality support services. Wahan se the HR manager left. And they said, we'd like you to do it for 6 months, caretaker basis. Pura 2 saal ho gaya uska. But what a great experience. I did not want to go back to travel, but it was a very big promotion for me. So I went back into travel, and then there was various things happened, and then I had to leave the organization. And I got back into HR at IUCN, and then Deutsche Bank, and then Shell. So effectively, in 7 years from my master's, I was director HR at Shell,
Wow.
which is mashallah a good achievement. Shell was fantastic. It was like getting a college education at work all the time. The exposure, the people you met, the projects that you worked on, the travel, the trainings. It was quite fantastic. So I left Shell a year before retirement. My other kira besides golf is to teach. And fortunately IBA thought that I could be a good asset for them, and I've been teaching there for a very long time. But the point I also want to make here is how you diversify yourself, how you create networks.
Networks, that's
Okay. So for a lot of people, what holds them back is that they don't integrate in society, they don't integrate in their organizations, they don't integrate in a wider community. Okay. So as a professional, there are professional bodies like Marketing Association, Management Association, there's English speaking union, there's this and that. You go, you meet people. At first you won't know anybody. By the second meeting, you'll know somebody. Somebody will know you. Then you've got to start making contributions over and above that. Okay. I started, as I said, the training programs when I was in Pan Am, and that became a passion for me. And through that, I met so many people, and you then get more momentum. I started writing. I started drama. I did a lot of stage plays. And see, again, this is you make networks. I got into yoga. I made so many friends through yoga. I got into drama. So many friends in drama. Then somebody said, why don't you write? I said, I don't know how to write. They said, no, you speak very well. You can write.
Right.
I started writing for the Friday Times. I have, I think, more than 150 articles for Friday Times. Then Dawn asked me to write for them. I've been writing for Dawn for so long. I ended up with a radio show on FM 89 for 6 years, 3 years, and then 3 years. I did a TV show on Dawn TV called Success Factor, naturally. And so what I'm saying is if you diversify yourself, you will meet new people and opportunities will present themselves.
Very amazing and very inspirational story. Sir, I would like to know that from your experience, बहुत सारे youngsters आते हैं, they have some financial issues, parenting के issue होते हैं, gathering के issues होते हैं. Sometimes guideline नहीं होती, कोई guide करने वाला नहीं होता, कोई mentor नहीं होता. Same situation होती है, education नहीं complete कर पाते, organization में आते हैं, industry में आते हैं, वहाँ पे भी इतना अच्छा उनको exposure नहीं मिलता. लेकिन फ्रॉम योर एक्सपीरियंस क्या चीज़ें हैं, जैसे आपने कुछ इंडिकेट भी की, रीडिंग है, नेटवर्किंग है, सबसे बड़ा उनकी ग्रोथ में जो प्रॉब्लम होता है वो क्या होता है?
Mindset. Okay, so let me tell you. Okay, I was Kangla.
सही.
If I had 30 rupees in my pocket, it was a very big thing. Honda 50 में पेट्रोल डालने के लिए पैसा नहीं था. ठीक है. So it's a question of do I feel sorry for myself and say देखो मेरे साथ जाती हो रहा है, मैं because I'm this, because I'm that, because I come from Sadar, or because I come from PCHS, or because my parents are middle class, because the minute you start externalizing the reasons. You will have a problem. Okay, so you have to also have the desire to want to improve. All I knew was that I wanted to be economically better off. Okay? If I was walking or taking public transport, I should at least have a motorcycle. If I had a motorcycle, at least I should have a car. Some creature comforts, and so on and so forth. I would like to travel. I would like to do this. I would like to do that. But a couple of other things which are seeds in your mind. I used to read the newspaper, and there were these wonderful columnists, Mr. Omar Qureshi, Mr. so many other people, and I said, yeah, I would like to be a writer. I became a writer. Okay? I used to watch TV shows and whatever not. I said, I would like to act. I became an actor. I became a musician. I do all sorts of things, but inside of you, if you have that desire, you create your opportunities. They go luck and circumstances, they're a very big thing. I can tell you so many stories about luck and circumstance, but you have to be in the right place at the right time. You can't say, jo likha hai wohi hoga, then I should lie in bed. I don't even have to prepare a CV. Khud ba khud naukri milega mujhe na. Nahi hota na. So those are the kind of things people don't understand. And the minute you start externalizing your issues, I've been teaching now for 8.5 years, and the same question that you have just asked me, I see in these people. Sir, हमारे साथ ये हो रहा है, हमारे साथ वो हो रहा है, but these people are not making the effort to integrate themselves. देखो, you have 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
The richest man in the world and the poorest man in the world has the same amount. What he does with his time, what you do with your time is something else. People who are successful in any field are focused. Then they put their energy behind it. No?
Yes.
Even a cricketer doesn't just play cricket. He has to do so many other things in order to be a good cricketer. And if you look at, Australia and New Zealand, they are sportsmen, multi-talented. So these are the kind of things that you need to do. You can't just be very narrowly focused. You can't say, oh, I'll go to work, I'll go to the masjid, I'll go to work, I'll go to church, I'll go to work, I'll hang around with my family. Hanging around with your family is a very nice thing. But you have to go beyond your family. The world exists beyond your family. Reading helps you see the world, explore the world.
So you are in teaching field now. You have a lot of experience in corporate as well. What is, I think, missing in linkage with campus and corporate?
Oh, very simple. Very simple. I also play golf. I never mentioned that. No, I'm a golf divan. So besides teaching and golf, these are my two passions. I'm lucky that I'm fulfilling my passions, right?
Okay.
So when you when you start to play golf, you start on a golf range. There's a mat. They give you the ball, they give you the club, and you start. It is an artificial environment. The classroom is an artificial environment. And people don't realize. They'll, beg and plead with the teacher, give me 1 mark, mera grade, mera dean's list, mera ye, mera wo. In real life, that doesn't happen, no? You can't go and ask the client for 1 day extension when 3 other people are standing there with their proposals and their presentations. ठीक है, लेकिन ये समझते कि ये हो. The other problem is in academics is that people are focused on GPA. The real world couldn't care less. No company hires the university. It doesn't hire your degree. It doesn't hire your GPA. It hires a human being. Your GPA in a university might get you to the interview, but when you open your mouth and your foot comes out, baat nahi banta hai. So a lot of people get me, sir, I go for the interview and I don't get called back. Kya karoon? So work on your communication skills, spoken communication skills, written communication skills, social skills, how to present yourself. As one mentor of mine told me a long time ago, ability will get you to a certain level, acceptability will be something else. And if you take the example of our professional athletes, cricket is the most visible one. How many people are at the level that they can become commentators, or they can become international or even serious administrators? वो capacity नहीं है. Okay? So, on the other hand, you look at the Indians, look at the English, look at the Australians, they diversify and they can become very senior administrators. You don't need to be a cricketer to run Pakistan Cricket Board. You need to have good administrative skills. But if you were a cricketer and you have good administrative skills, nothing like it, no?
Yes. Well, good. Sir, you are involved in training as well for such a long time. Training industry आजकल हमारे यहाँ बड़ा एक कॉमन फिनोमेना बन गया है और बड़ा एक कॉमन है कि जी फलां ट्रेनर है. लेकिन जब ट्रेनिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस करवाती है और साथ उनका ये भी कहना होता है कि यार व्हाट वी वर रिक्वायर्ड, जो हमें या हमारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट है, एम्प्लॉयज़ है, जो चाहिए था उनको, वो डिलीवर नहीं हुआ. प्रॉब्लम क्या है हमारे ट्रेनिंग सिस्टम में, किस तरह से क्या चीज़ें माइंडसेट का है, हमारा एडेप्टेबिलिटी है, स्किल है, क्या चीज़ें जहाँ पर हमें काम करना है?
ये एक मल्टीफैसेटेड इशू है. एक तो आई एम एलर्जिक टू द वर्ड ट्रेनर एंड ट्रेनिंग
ट्रेनर सही,
बिकॉज यू ट्रेन सर्कस एनिमल्स. पीपल आर सपोज टू लर्न.
यस,
ठीक है. The organization measures itself in the number of training days, which is stupid. It's not measuring learning effectiveness, how the organization is improving through improved customer services, reduced complaints, reduced accidents. If you do safety training, your first measure will be how many accidents have you prevented. If you're doing sales training, how much productivity has improved. But organizations, unfortunately, are still measuring training days, man hours, cost per head, all sorts of silly things. They're not measuring effectiveness. Okay? They leave training to the HR department or the learning department. They don't know the business. The line manager should be responsible. HR should facilitate the learning. Okay, we know the trainers, we know the venue, we can do this for you, we can that for you, because there's a whole production process in getting the training done. But the effectiveness must also be built into the brief that you give the trainer. Okay? And that is where the issue comes in. Then there's the attitude of the people who go for the training. Acha chale, 2 din I'm away from the office.
सही.
Marriott में गए, PC में गए, इधर गए. आजकल most everything is now on Zoom. But see, the access to learning has gone up exponentially. But how many people are taking that? I'll tell you one conversation I had with somebody long time ago. Why don't you do this? I don't have time. Why don't you read that book? Why I don't have time? But you know what? They all have time for the latest Indian movie. 3 hours of nonsense, singing, dancing around a tree. They have time for that. So that's why I said the richest man in the world and the poorest man in the world, what do you do? People say, oh, Netflix. You may have 1,000 movies on Netflix, but you can only watch one at one time. It's the same thing for whatever you do. One thing at one time. So, do I choose to watch a movie? Do I choose to learn? Do I choose to read? Do I choose to go and meet people? Do I choose to exercise? You know, those are the kinds of things. So, health, wealth, happiness don't just happen for you. You have to work at it consciously, mindfully.
थैंक यू सो मच वंस अगेन सर. आई वुड लाइक टू नो दैट बहुत सारे हमारी कम्युनिटी के बच्चे, नौजवान, डेफिनेटली आप भी जब उनसे मिलते हैं, बातचीत करते हैं, ओवर दो हमारे यहाँ कम्युनिटी में बहुत सारे यंगस्टर्स की तादाद, बट उनका जो माइंडसेट होता है, जो सोसाइटी के बारे में, अपने बारे में उनका परसेप्शन होता है, वो बड़ा ही अजीब होता है. उसको हम शायद बयान भी नहीं कर सकते. व्हाट इज़ योर थॉट? आप क्या समझते हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है और कैसे वो ओवरकम कर सकते हैं उस इश्यूज़ पर, ताकि वो पर्सनली ग्रो करें, प्रोफेशनल ग्रो करें और ओवरऑल जो हमारी कम्युनिटी ग्रो करे?
I'll tell you a very sad thing, but I'll come back to your question later. My wife and I were discussing this. Okay, most of the people we know that immigrated to Canada have stayed the same. Their circle of friends are the same. They meet and greet and drink and eat together. You'll never find any non-community person in there. Okay, so they've got this thing and they're not going to evolve. You have to evolve. It means you have to go through difficult times, difficult processes, and leave your comfort zone.
Yes.
Okay. So to answer your question directly, I think it's a question of mindset and your socio-economic circumstances. So for a lot of people who we say are born on the wrong side of the tracks, ये अमेरिका में भी होता है, okay? England में भी होता है. England is a class-conscious society. They will always identify with middle class, working class, upper class. They always, okay? Similarly, we have the same. In society. You have different levels, but the thing is, how do you navigate them? And you navigate them by becoming acceptable, by being cosmopolitan as opposed to being parochial in your thought. Okay? Many students say to me when I ask them about speaking and this and that, sir, I'm an introvert. Yeah, but being an introvert is not a disability. Okay, it's just a preferred state. I'm an introvert. I love being by myself. When I play golf by myself. I spend a lot of time reading crosswords. I like being by myself, but I also like to socialize. I like to meet and mix with people. So the thing is, what's going to take you forward to where you want to go?
Yes.
So you need to identify what it is that you want. You want better economics, you want a better house, you want a better car, you want a better something, or you want to chuck it all and say, look, I want to be a yogi and sit in an ashram and meditate. That's also fine. Your life is not measured by the things you acquire. It's the state of being that you reach, and where you have that kind of contentment, where you have gratitude, to start with, gratitude for everything. And so it's about being aware of all these different things. Just prayer doesn't help you. Prayer is a great assist, but the effort has to be yours.
So you're also involved in TRG, Trainer Resource Group.
Unfortunately, I'm the president of TRG.
Yes, and you are also a very good supporter of YLC, Young Leader Conference. What's your idea? What was your idea behind it? और किसको मकसद क्या था और किस तरह से इसके जो impact है इसको हम और डाइवर्सिफाई कर सकते हैं?
Actually, I'm phenomenally impressed by the success of YLC. I was there when the first one was done at
2000.
Sheraton many years ago, and I introduced myself as Tom Cruise, and they thought it was very funny. But the thing was, it has grown so much that these people are almost like evangelists.
Yes.
जाके तबलीग करना चाहते हैं,
Yes.
with regard to youth empowerment and the enterprises that they have set up. I think what Shireen Naqvi has done and what Kamran Rizvi has done and Farhad and all these people. There are so many volunteers. They've done a fantastic job. And it has spread so much, and mashallah, it has grown so much.
Yes.
TRG, on the another hand, is fantastic because for the longest time we had no official setup. We were just a bunch of HR people or trainers who used to meet on a monthly basis, share learnings, share stories, share what different people are doing. We take turns hosting, and then it just, because we needed more and more people to come into the thing, we ended up actually forming an association and getting it registered. But otherwise, it was just running on its own. These days, mashallah, Umair is doing a wonderful job leading it. So that's really good for us.
Thank you so much, sir, once again for your time and a wonderful story and all this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ayaz. Thanks for inviting me.
थैंक यू नाज़रीन, इसी के साथ आपसे इजाज़त चाहेंगे। और आज आपने जो हमारी गुफ्तगू हुई, आई थिंक ये बहुत ही फ्रूटफुल है फॉर यंगस्टर्स कि इफ़ दे वांट टू ग्रो इन देयर लाइफ दे नीड टू बी वेरी फोकस्ड एंड वेरी फोकस्ड। थैंक यू सो मच। आपसे मुलाकात होगी अगले प्रोग्राम में एक नई शख्सियत के साथ। तब तक अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। थैंक यू सो मच।